Hey, what's up my YouTube friends? In this video I'm going to be showing you my Smatchet inspired blade collection. I will also be throwing my cold steel Smatchet machete. That's the largest one you see there. And I will be showing you the newest addition to this collection of blades, which is that shiny one at the bottom. That's the PAL2000 Dagger. But I feel like the blade shape is definitely inspired by the Smatchet. Well, I'm sure a lot of my subscribers already know what a Smatchet is, but it's a blade design that goes back to the World War II era. Here is a picture of an original Smatchet that was sold at auction. So that's an antique Smatchet. Here is a summary for you. Smatchet is a type of heavy fighting knife designed by William Fairbairn with a broad, thick blade. It's a close combat weapon, a broad, leaf-shaped blade. So that's what a Smatchet is. Here we have a windlass Steelcrafts Smatchet that is manufactured in India. This replica has been around for many years. There's a lot of reviews of it. I've done a review of it years ago, and I've chopped a lot of things with that Smatchet, and that is actually still available. I'll include a link for you below. Next up, a classic. This is the cold steel Smatchet machete. As you can see, I've chopped a lot of things with this. I've also thrown it. You can see the wear and tear on, well, just the wear on the tip. And okay, coming up, a little bit of fun. We had some better weather getting back into throwing, so here's some footage of me throwing that Smatchet. Alright, I hope you like that, YouTube. Now, this was made at a time when the cold steel machetes were strong and you could throw them and they would be fine. I threw one of the new ones the other day and the tip bent right away. Here is the next Smatchet-inspired blade. I have one of these. Alright, here's the information. The Blade HQ exclusive Boker Plus Pocket Smatchet by Chuck Gindraitis. That's a famous knife maker. Now, you might say, hey, a folding Smatchet? Isn't that against the whole idea of a Smatchet? Well, yeah, but that's a very respected knife maker, and I think they like what he's done with the inspiration. It's essentially just a wide dagger, right? But it has a false edge because it's a folder. Kind of reminds you of a Roman Pugio. It's got micarta handle scales. I did a review of this years ago when I first got it, but it just bears showing because it's part of the collection. It's a really nice pocket knife, basically. Now, speaking of Boker Smatchets, this is a Boker Applegate Smatchet 2.1 Combat Machete. Long discontinued. Made in Germany. I'm sure it was very expensive when it was even available. But here is a currently available alternative, the PAL2000 High Polish Dagger. All right, they're not calling it a Smatchet, but it looks clearly inspired by the Smatchet, at least with the blade shape. Comes in this very shady looking box. Now, just kidding. The box is fine, dude. High polished dagger. Here's a sheath. It's a stitched leather sheath. It's got a belt loop there. It has a single retaining strap with a button closure. And they weren't joking when they said high polish. This has a mirror polish on the blade. It was a little tricky to show, and that's weird for D2. Polished micarta handle scales, true full tang construction with 3 pins. It's got a hole in the ricasso. I feel like this was inspired by that discontinued Boker Smatchet dagger. This has dual hollow grinds, believe it or not. I feel like this design is mainly for the thrust. It's a stabber. Reason I say that is because it's a lot shorter than the original Smatchets, which were actually made to be able to split a skull, right, with a downward chop. All right, but nothing wrong with the dagger. Here are some stats on this blade. So you see the item number there, the blade length, the overall length. This is D2 tool steel. The materials, I bought mine for $50. All right, I'm going to roll in some usage footage, just wailing on this thing for fun. Alright, so there is a notch that I chopped into that branch. Now, this really isn't much of a chopper because it's a lot shorter than the original Smatchet. It doesn't have a lot of weight to it. It's certainly not a hatchet. So I really just did that to see if the edge would get, chip or roll, which it didn't. I mean, so light chopping is fine. Final conclusions on this. So a mid-sized knife is certainly no hatchet. You could chop a little with it, you could slice, but I think this is good for the thrust. And I think in this case the very wide, broad blade is just to create a larger wound channel. Now in terms of self-defense, unless you're in a war zone, you're probably not going to be carrying this on your belt when that time comes, right? I have seen some mountain man type knives that were vaguely similar in design, but aside from those rare instances, I think this is something that we like very much on my channel. A collectible weapon. An effective and deadly weapon, yet far more likely to be used and enjoyed as a collectible. And as such, well, it's well made. I agree with the price. It's a beautiful piece, really. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed seeing it. This has been We All Juggle Knives. I'm out.